I'm Oral Hershiser, and I am on Blue Review. Hey, this is Sean Green. You're watching the Blue Review.
Bum, bum,
Bum,
bum,
ba-da-dum,
bum, bum.
bum. Lasers in a most improbable way after last night's weird win. Welcome everybody to the Blue Review presented by LAX. I'm Marcus Grant. That is Greg Bergman. That's one way to win a ball game. I'll tell you that.
I'll tell you what. That is one way to get a win against a pretty good team. But we got a lot to talk about that. Like, what was he doing? What are you doing, Realmuto? Where are you going?
That is the question for the ages. Where was JT Realmuto going? We'll get into that and a whole lot more. But first, want to let you know that the Blue Review is powered by LAX. Now, what does it take to build a champion? Well, at LAX, it takes round-the-clock testing. Skylink is being perfected right now to connect you to the airport, the new rental car center, and the metro in under 10 minutes. For more information, visit lawa.org/ESPN. All right. Hey, so if you ever thought you were going to see a walk-off toot blonde, last night was your night. So let's go back to the original. Let's go back to the original question. Where was JT Realmuto going last night?
I don't know. I was so confused. I'm sure you were. I'm sure everybody was. Like, once Realmuto was on third and Crawford was going back and forth, you stay. You just stay right there. Now, I don't know if he thought they were both going to be out. I don't know if he just had a brain fart. He's like, oh, I got to get back to second base. I don't understand what he was doing. I even texted Travis. I'm like, is there some rule that I'm just not aware of, like Rule 75 2.3a, that I don't know, that if both guys are if one guy's in a rundown and another guy's on third, that they're both out? I don't know what he thought. But that was one of the dumbest plays, and that is one of the reasons, like the main reasons, Mark, is why the Dodgers win World Series. Not because it could be, or let me phrase it this way: do not lose World Series. They do not lose because of stupid errors like this. They win because they don't do those things, and other teams lose because they do those things.
I mean, so first my
again,
initial reaction.
What are you doing? Where are you going?
I've watched it so many times last night. As I was watching the play live, I mean, my first reaction was, "Oh, hey, great play, Max. Let's get the rundown, let's get the out." And then I looked up like, he's going to second for the ball moving. And then after it was over, I was like, wait a minute, why was he going back to second base? You know, and I just had to kind of walk myself through it. I'm just like, I don't understand any of what happened. It really was. I mean, I don't think there's any other explanation other than he just had a brain fart. I mean, I think that's the only real thought process, because once you get to third base, you stand there, and if Justin Crawford comes back to third base and you're both there, then you leave it up to the umpires. Like, one of you is going to be out. You leave it up to the umpire to just call it and go on from there. I mean, worst case scenario, absolute worst case scenario out of that play, the Phillies should have first and third with 2 outs. They should have still had a chance to try and tie the ball game or win the ball game against Tanner Scott. Instead, they run themselves into a game-ending, I was saying inning, but game-ending, was it 5-2, 5-6-4, or was it 5-2, 5-2, 6-4, double play on just a massive toot blonde. That was hilarious.
Unbelievable. And really, at best case scenario, they should have been on second and third. And you shouldn't have stayed on first. You should have moved yourself up, go like halfway up the base path. If they're messing around at third, go all the way to second base, and then you have second and third with 2 outs, and are giving yourself a shot, because you still have to get both runs in to win in the bottom of the ninth. So I think what my theory is, Marcus, is this, and Realmuto trying to be try to be the good teammate, being like, Justin Crawford is much, much faster than I am. If he can somehow get back to third base, and they decide to tag me instead of Crawford, or I'd rather give them more of an opportunity to tag me so that Crawford can be the faster base runner and be allowed to get home. Just even like if you're watching it right there at the top there, he was slow. Okay, now he's on third. He was just thinking like, if I go back to second, maybe he'll throw to second, and they'll just let Crawford have third base. It doesn't make any sense. The whole thing was but hey, I'll take the W, man, because that was absolutely stupid.
I will 100% take it. So the Dodgers get a 2-1 win last night.
Where are you going?
Where are you going, JT Realmuto? Yeah, it's a good thing he plays in a city with forgiving fans like Philadelphia, because there's no way they're going to remember this going forward at all. Yeah. But it's the game ends on maybe the mother of all toot blondes. Side note to all that, as everybody was talking about it last night, what it did make me remember is, I don't know if you remember the Ruben Rivera, the greatest of all toot blondes, Ruben Rivera with the Giants in, this might have been like 2003 or something like that, 2002, 2003, where I'll have to send you the video. This was maybe one of the worst base running eras. In fact, at the time it was happening, John Miller, who was the broadcaster for the Giants, called it the worst base running in the history of the game. So that's what I thought about. I will text you the video a little bit later so you can watch it.
So it looks like I'm looking at it here. I just don't want the audio to come through my.
Yeah, it's against the Diamondbacks. The ball was dropped in the outfield. He runs past second, goes back, forgets to touch second, has to loop around, gets to third where the ball gets away from the third baseman, tries to go home, and is out by a mile at the plate.
I'm watching. I remember this. Where are you going? He's like just circling around second base.
He's just looping second base.
Then he can.
Like that
away. Let me go home. Let me go home.
Right. That would have won the game for the Giants in 9 innings. And if I recall right, I think the Giants actually ended up losing that game in extras, in part because Ruben Rivera couldn't run the bases properly.
Who dropped the ball? Who dropped that ball in the outfield?
David DeLucci.
I remember David DeLucci. That was just standing there right underneath him, and it went off his glove. And Ruben Rivera's like, do I go around the second base? How do I get back here? Do I have to touch again?
God. It was the worst. For anybody who's curious, just go to YouTube and look up Ruben Rivera base running, and it will pop up for you. But what's funny is that I don't think that was the toot blonde I expected to talk about when the day started. Midway through that game, it felt like the base running era we would talk about would have been what looked like an RBI single by Shohei Ohtani. He gets thrown out trying to stretch that to a double, and in the process, Eliezer Alfonso has a run wiped off the board because he didn't touch home plate in time. At that point, it went from 1-1 to 1-0, and Greg, I was worried, and I know we talked about it in our text chat, that was going to be the mistake that hung over the air in this game. Fortunately, it wasn't, but nonetheless, it was still a pretty big blunder.
No, massive blunder. So, I mean, it was on both guys, too. It was on Shohei, and it was on Eliezer Alfonso Jr. That was... Alfonso just decided that, first of all, congratulations for getting your first extra base hit. But when there's a ball in the outfield with 2 outs, you run through home plate. You don't slow down. And I think so. Anthony Watrata was saying that Andy Pajas was like telling him to slow down. No. Don't listen to Andy Pajas on base running.
That was not for base running stuff. No.
Wrong guy to go with on base running decisions. Run through the bag, especially with 2 outs. And Shohei should never have gone to second. He should have, because you could see where the ball landed, they were going to go to second because there was no reason to go home. It was they would never have gotten Alfonso out. But I understand the reason for trying to go for it. But Shohei going for 2, bad mistake. Alfonso midway through running down third baseline, slowing down, that's ridiculous. If they would have lost, he would have been killing himself. That's some kangaroo court type stuff right there.
Right. Yeah, no, you're right. Like I'm watching
Fines
that
would be
on the
coming.
replay. It would be fun for sure. Fines. Um, and I was watching it back too. I was wondering, was it Pages telling him to slow down, or was it Pages celebrating the fact that Alfonso was about to score a run? I just, if you back and look, and Pages is like halfway between the on deck circle and the batter's box, and he's got his arms in the air. It's not like where you normally would position, right, when you're trying to help a base runner, where you're in his line of sight. Pages was off to the side. I'm like, are you telling him to slow down, or are you just throwing your arms up in celebration because Alfonso is scoring a run? I mean, I guess we'll never really know, but either way, I mean, my first reaction was like, what is Shohei doing? Why are you trying to stretch that out? Because there was very little chance. I mean, I guess he made it close to the point that it went to a replay, but it just didn't really make sense.
No,
other than trying to get into scoring position for Pages, but it's just bad baseball all around by both guys there.
Yeah, both guys. I'm watching it again. I didn't see the Pages part. He's like walking. Then and then at the end he's like, oh my god, I have to get on first. I got
right.
To
He's like he hustles.
It's like an extra little stretch forward to try and get it to try to touch home plate. But all of it,
which he also slipped on home plate and possibly could have hurt himself when he did that.
Oh, I know, he probably. And then you're in a whole mess of trouble without having. I guess Chucky Robinson would be coming back up. But like Alfonso has been actually playing pretty well as this backup catcher once a week type thing. He's starting to find his power. Even early on, he was getting bat on ball. The ball was just not falling, and now he's getting a couple. He got a hit on Sunday. He got a hit last night. Like you're starting to see a little bit. Not that he's going to be anything big for this team this year, especially, but at least he seems to be competent. And then this is not competent. So if we're sitting here talking about the Dodgers don't make these types of mistakes, Alfonso is one of those guys that does make those type of mistakes. That he's still a rookie. This is still really actually I don't think he's a rookie yet because he's not going to have enough time. But at the same time, like he's just these are the things that we won't be seeing in the postseason because hopefully Will Smith is back and Dalton won't make that type of mistake as well.
Yeah, well, Dalton won't make that mistake because he goes 173% all the time. Sometimes when he probably doesn't need to, but. You mentioned Will Smith. There is a Will Smith update. I'm sure a lot of you saw he has been transferred to the 60-day IL, which means he cannot come back before August 5th. So I don't know that it necessarily changes a lot the way things were going. I don't know that we were going to see him in the next week or two anyway, so it doesn't really change it, except that it does open up a spot on the 40-man roster so that they can make some moves. Charlie Barnes, I believe is the guy who they have selected to come back to the big club. So we'll see him coming out of the bullpen probably in the very near future, maybe even as soon as tonight. Who knows? We'll see how it goes.
Hopefully not. Yeah, and Landon Knack went down.
Yes. So we no longer have the Knack. Just what it is. The other part of last
Smith. One last thing on Will Smith.
Yeah.
He wasn't supposed to come back until mid-August anyway, like August 15th at the earliest. So I think that was just so they can open up roster spots.
This was more of an administrative move than any sort of signal about his health or anything like that. Right. The other big part of last night's story was Justin Robleski. Yet again, the Shark goes out and hunts and eats. Gave up a run in the first inning, a couple of back-to-back hits with 2 outs. I mean, against a couple of good hitters. It happens. After that, though, just locked in. And, I mean, we were talking about it the other day. If we're going to pick at this exact moment who the number 2 starter is, I think we both said it was Justin Robleski. And last night, he looked like a frontline starter against a very good team, facing a very good pitcher. Justin Robleski went out and just dealt yet again last night.
Yeah, look, I think it's official. We can go back to calling Justin Robleski a strikeout pitcher. This is what he is doing now. He had 7 strikeouts last night. He is a top line starter at this point because he went toe to toe with Zach Wheeler, who was pitching well. I mean, they should have had 3 runs off of Wheeler, but the fact is he went out there and against that lineup that put up 10 runs the night before and has held down Trey Turner, held down Kyle Schwarber. Kyle Schwarber was the guy that he went. Remember earlier in the year, Justin Robleski went 7 innings and gave up a run, and that was to Kyle Schwarber, who hit a home run off him. He got him every single time. So this is now he learned from his mistakes and in Philadelphia looked that good. I mean, you have to give it up to Justin Robleski. He is proving himself to be a top line starter. And if something happens where Glasnow is not off the IL, where they just put him on the shelf for a little while, he could be a viable starter in the postseason with the way that he is pitching, as long as he keeps it up. But he is, in my mind, he's a strikeout pitcher again.
He is. So I'm look at his last 3 starts. Seven strikeouts last night. 9 strikeouts just before the All-Star break against the Rockies. The start before that against the A's. 11 strikeouts in that one. So you're looking at 27 strikeouts in his last 20 and a third innings. Yeah, that'll play. That'll play all day.
Do you have the game log in front of you? How many times has he gone? I think he's gone now 7 innings. I think 5 times. He didn't go 7 last night, but
he did not go 7 last night.
But into the 7th inning, I think like 5 or 6 times.
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times he's gone at least 7 innings in a ball game. Yeah, I mean, he's been incredible so far this year. You talked about him pitching in the postseason. Now, look, assuming everybody is back and healthy, there's just not going to be room for him in the starting rotation. But what do you see as his role? First guy out of the bullpen? Is he the guy who starts in the event of a bullpen game? Because he's going to have a role on this team in the pitching staff. I'm just curious what we think it's going to be once October rolls around.
So if they have to do bullpen game, I think he's just a starter. The issue that I feel like you're going to have, and this is a Justin Robleski, he can pitch in either one, the bullpen or the starting rotation, but you have to change how you pitch to go to the bullpen. Like, you are no longer stretched out. You have to see, can you pitch on back-to-back days? Are you going to go 3 innings? Can you pitch on a day where you go the one day and then a couple of days later? If he's going to be the long reliever, that's kind of where I see him as, but the guy that can go like 3 innings for you at any point in time. But that's you have to change your role midway through the season. So if they're going to move him to the pen, I feel like you have to move him to the pen sometime in August and in September at the earliest, like early September or at the latest, so that he can be in that mindset and change, because he is a starter. He a long starter. There's also a world where maybe, like, because of what's going on with Tyler Glasnow, do you make him the reliever? But I think the whole plan is obviously put him on the shelf and just bring him back in sometime in August or September and have him ready for the postseason. But if Justin Robleski keeps playing like this, he's going to make that decision for the Dodgers really, really tough.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're already there, where he has made it really tough, where I'm sure they're trying to figure out what calculations, they have to do to get him ready, or to get this staff ready. It seems like Blake Snell is right around the corner from coming back and getting ready to go. I know that Glasnow has been throwing at least, so there's at least some progress right there. We'll wait and see kind of what the final determination is for Shohei as a pitcher, that he's down from that for the foreseeable future, but at some point that I think we all believe that's going to ramp up again. He's going to start pitching again. So, you already have Yamamoto locked in. You're going to get Shohei back, Snell, Glasnow, I guess. So that's 4 right there, which you're not going to go more than 4 deep in your playoff rotation anyway. So I think it does become a battle between Robleski and, I guess, Glasnow is kind of the 4th guy in that group.
I mean, the Shohei portion of it all is still interesting to me. Like, I assume that he's going to pitch again. I assume that he's going to pitch in the postseason, and I think everybody believes he's going to be, and they're just kind of slow playing it. But what if he can't? Like, I think that's a viable discussion point about whether he can or cannot. And if he can't, then Justin Robleski does go into that situation where he is now a pitcher in the starting rotation, where it's Yamamoto, Snell, Glasnow, Robleski. Now, not as strong as having Shohei in there, obviously, but I think, everything that Robleski is showing, the Shohei question to me is still a really big question. Knee issues don't just go away, and how you land on them, that doesn't just go away in the middle. They're going to figure out some way to, shoot him up, have it not have any feeling, and have surgery in the off season. But If they don't, if they don't see it shows that it has more long-term effects. That changes things. I think it changes things at the trade deadline. I think it changes things for for Robleski. It's a big question of what's going to go on with Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, at this point, I don't know that anything changes what they do at the trade deadline just because it's so close. And I think with Shohei, they want to take their time to make a final determination. So I don't think those timelines match up, unfortunately. And then we mentioned yesterday, our pal Katie Wu reporting that they don't plan to make any moves based on the Will Smith injury. I'm really curious to see what Andrew Friedman wants to do at the trade deadline because there are no, as we keep saying, there are no immediate gaps. There are no big holes in this roster. You're just waiting for players to get healthy. Maybe they make some small moves. I mean, a couple years ago, the big move, air quotes there, was Alex Call, which at the time we were like, who the bleep is that? He's turned out to play a really good role for this team. He's turned out to be a really important player for this team. But at the time, it was like, what are we doing here? So I have a feeling that's kind of what this trade deadline is going to look like too. It might be a utility guy. It might just be restocking the farm system. I'm not expecting any big splashes when we get to end of July, early April at this point.
No, and yesterday Dave Roberts was saying they may even be sellers at the trade deadline and just try and be able to add rotation or depth to the minor league system or whatever it happens to be. I think that is still a possibility, but also like what are you supposed to say? Oh yeah, we're gonna go big, we're gonna go heavy. You're like take all our guys. It's the same thing with Detroit saying they're not going to move Skubal. Of course they're going to say they're not going to move Skubal. Otherwise, so like to drive up the price for it when they say, okay, I think we're going to do it now. It's all games. Andrew Friedman's and the Tigers and everything else is playing games. But they also, to your point, very well could be sellers and just be like, okay, we're not going to really do much. We're getting Will Smith back. Edwin Diaz is about to be back. Tyler Glasnow's going to be back. We're still going to have Shohei. They think that everything's going to be healthy all the way through, and you don't need something. Will Smith being back would obviously change so much. So they could do nothing. They could do something big. I do really feel that those Andrew Friedman, Brandon Gomes, they know what they need and what is going on with Will Smith and what is going on with Shohei. If either of those guys have some longer term thoughts where it's doubtful for the playoffs, they will go out and get a catcher. They will go out and get another starter. I think that's for certain.
Yeah. In the meantime, Game 3 of the series with the Phillies takes place this afternoon, 3:40 scheduled first pitch time. Last night got underway a little bit late because of some rain in the area. And it'll be Eric Lauer going against Aaron Nola. I mean, talking about starters who have overperformed. Eric Lauer certainly in that category, so we'll see if he can keep it going tonight. Aaron Nola comes in with an ERA of 5.6.
Fits right into your narrative.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. He's been getting knocked around by everybody. We'll see if the Dodgers can take advantage of it, and we will let you know tomorrow. So let's see. Anyway, that'll wrap it up for this edition.
Yes.
Stick around for the Sedano and Cap Morning Extravaganza coming up right after us. Thanks to everybody in the chat. Thanks to Tim for production assistance. That'll do it for this edition of the Blue Review presented by LAX. For Greg, I am Marcus. We will see you tomorrow, 6:30 to 6:55 here on the ESPN LA YouTube channel.
Where are you going, Realmuto? Blue Review.